All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Comics Presents. This is the artist Andrew speaking. And tonight we are doing my 80th live stream. 80 of these things. And I can still only get one person to watch. That's usually myself. But that's all right. I'm joined once again by my good buddy, Avery Butterworth. Fantastic artist in his own right. How you doing, Avery? I know you're there.
I'm fine.
You're a horrible guest. You know that?
Yeah, I'm not a guest.
Sure you are. You're a guest on my stream, just like I'm a guest on your stream from time to time. Oh, actually, what am I going to do next? I think I figured out how I'm going to wrap up Chapter 16 before I start on Chapter 17, so I think I need to work on that. Wrapping it up. I know you didn't watch any football games yesterday, but they were all pretty good.
No.
You know who did a picks video for his YouTube channel this weekend?
No.
And I was the first person to comment on it and chit-chat back and forth with him?
No.
Antonio from Brand.
I don't know what that is.
Antonio Bryce.
I don't know what that is.
A bull crap. You know exactly who I'm talking about. He put out a video like on Sunday with his I guess he does
Yeah, I know you've already discussed this with me.
No, I have not.
Yes, you did a whole thing talking about your
well, now I'm telling everybody else about it then. You can't let me have any fun. No, absolutely no fun whatsoever.
Oh, it's you.
Oh, hush. You just don't like fun. So, but needless to say, my Jags won, and the team he was going for, the Giants, lost. And hopefully he and I can have some type of dialogue at some point. And
No.
hopefully he and I can have some type of dialogue at some point, you know?
No.
Maybe some of his good fortune will rub off on us.
It won't.
Well, you never know. I'm not even listening to you anymore. You know that, right? I give up.
Just talk to him. Just talk to him.
I will. Ooh.
For the joy of it, man. Just talk to him for the joy of it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him about football because you know how many football fans are out there in the comic book community? Very few. You know, when it comes to geeks and so forth, they don't really get into football. They're like you; they don't get into football. There were a few of them, like Sean Pryor. I could talk to him about football because he was a football fan. Tony is a football fan. I talked to him about football before. You know. I don't think any of the other guys. I seriously doubt like Doug TeNaples, a football fan. Maybe he is. I don't know.
I don't know. You're presuming a lot.
Well, I know. I don't think I heard any of them mention, you know, football, being fans of football. But it's nice when one of them comes out of the closet and you're like, dude, I got something I could talk to him about, you know? In addition to comics. I don't even want to know why you're snickering. Ugh. So you're working tonight or you're just relaxing?
I'm working on something.
Okay. Cool. Oh, I've really got to finish these layouts for Chapter 16 and get into the deep and get the pages done. I'm kind of giving myself to the end of this month I want to go to New York having chapter 16 done and start working on chapter 17. That is the plan. Oh, I checked with Rich, by the way. Remember I told you my friend Rich Bernatovich was going to do a color copy of his graphic novel?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's only doing 50 copies. He's just doing it, just a very, very small limited edition print run.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it through Kablam.
Mm.
It's like, well, okay. But he's not trying to make any money off it. He's pretty much selling them for cost at the show. But they wanted to do a small print run just so that they could see how it would look and come out and so forth. And I told him, you better put one aside for me because I want one. So I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
But,
won't be your friend after October.
what are you talking about? Rich doesn't care about that stuff.
They'll force him.
He's not.
He won't be given a choice.
He's not in the mainstream comics. You know, it's not going to matter. You know, this whole Comicsgate thing. It's important to us. It's very important to us. There's a lot of people, they don't care. You know, they don't care.
He might not care. They won't give him a choice. He's friends with you. Trust me, they'll pour through your friends list and go after everyone. Only if the book is successful. If no one notices the book, then
Yeah, see, I love that caveat. Only if it's successful. You know, well, I want it to be successful. If it's not successful, then we didn't burn any bridges. Is what you're saying, right?
yeah. Well, they just won't take notice. If the book's successful, they'll take notice and then everything on everybody. They run background checks on you. It's weird. It's really creepy.
Yeah, they don't run background checks on everybody. They just they go after the big people.
Anybody they want to go after.
They go after the big people. They're not going to come after us. They're not going to care about us.
No, they're going after Antonio.
Oh, they are? When did that happen?
He gets regular. They
Well, he's also a regular on Ethan's show, so I mean,
he's very new to being known.
Yeah, but he's also
they go after.
He's been put in the spotlight, so
yeah, that's what being successful.
And when that was before he was successful, that was before his Indiegogo. Actually, what was it? I know I did check. He did renew it for an extra 2 weeks.
Cool.
Because it was on my list to do next. Yeah, his goal was I think 20 or 15,000, and he's already more than doubled that. He's up to 33,000. So they're doing fantastic.
I backed it a while ago.
Yeah, the next one on my list to back is Bigfoot Bill. That one.
Too.
That one ends in 2 days. So.
And I did a. John Mayland's too, because I want that Nerd Wonder ash can.
Oh.
I think that's cool that he's got Nerd Wonder doing an ash can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not worried about any of the extra stuff. I want the books.
That's the reason I went for the extra stuff on that one, is because it supported someone else as well. She even gets a bonus.
Okay, that's cool.
For how good it does at that level. So I was just like, well, I got to get that too then. I have to.
Yeah, I gotta be responsible with my money.
I don't care anymore.
I have 5 mouths to feed and 5 pets. You know.
I got nothing, and I don't care. I'm gonna lose everything anyway, so I don't care anymore.
You're not gonna lose everything.
Oh yes, I will.
We'll find a way to keep you afloat.
Nope.
Well, all right then. See? Negative.
You reach a point where you just don't care. It doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I'm going to keep looking on the positive. I still got a lot of stuff I want to do. Last thing I want to do is give up before I even start.
I didn't say I give up. I said nothing matters.
See, I don't understand that. There's so much going on. So much of interest going on.
You don't understand anything.
Yeah, well, I've been told that many a times. Am I right or am I right? Ugh. I am taking it one day at a time. Oh, I got so frustrated at work today. I just got up and left. And it was
negative.
Huh? That wasn't negative. It was just I was so hungry. We were knee deep in month end stuff, and next thing I know, I look up and the clock says 3:00, and I'm like, my hand's shaking. I'm so hungry. I'm like, and I just got up and left. My coworker was out doing something. I don't know what he was doing, so I just left him a note, said I'll be back in an hour. Said I can't do this no more. All right.
Let me see.
I forgot what page this is.
I'm mostly just yanking your chain, Andrew.
I know.
Because you get kind of.
You know I'm gonna forget all about this conversation. 95-2. Okay, this is page 95, panel 2. See how many pages we got so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is the 20th panel, or the 20th page of chapter 16. This is panel 2. I think there was something that was supposed to happen in this chapter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it. I have to sit down. Hero layout 9502. There's something that I wanted to have happen. I just don't know how storytelling wise I can make it happen.
There we go.
Storytelling wise, you know. Actually, you know what? I probably need to do a layout, because I had as far as this page already laid out. You know, it was thumbnailed. All right. I'm not going to record this part, but we have the page 91, in which the rat character attacks. Then we have the handmaidens go screaming past. Then, page 92, we have... You know, I can't believe I when I was making the video of my doing the drawing of this one character, I kept saying the wrong name. I said Faith, and her name's actually Hope. There's a panel I need to draw. And then there's this panel, which I think is one of my favorite panels of the chapter, where the one handmaiden is sliding and doing the whack. 93 has the two of them standing over the bad guy who's on the ground. And then you have the two of them kind of mocking him. And there's a sword. That's 93. And then page 94 has Lulu calling the guards, and they come in. And they pick him up. They pick up the rat. And they're going to take him away to the the dungeon or whatever. Before he does that, he gets right in her face and says something to her. And then 95, which is the page I'm working on now, you see a close-up of the rat, the two guards as they're walking him away, and you see her in the background. And then you see her saying something, and then Hero's here and Pudge is here. And now I got to figure out what else happens in this chapter. My thought was, in order to cut this chapter in half so that I could go into the next chapter, was have Lulu say to Hero, let's go speak in private, and the two of them walk off together. Because then when they're together is where some other stuff happens. A whole bunch more characters come into the scene. But I wanted him to come face to face. I have this panel I drew in which Hero comes face to face with Hope. And from the angle I drew it, he's kind of on his knees, like looking up at her, and she's like leaning down. Because originally in the plan, he was supposed to jump in front of his sister to like protect her, like a good hero would. And she helps him up. But then it was more theatrical to have him stand there as the two handmaids go past him. You know, instead of him reacting, it's they're reacting. Makes them seem so much cooler. But then how do I get him on his knees being helped up by her if the bad guy's being dragged away and they're just standing there talking? That's where I was coming. That's where I was saying I was going to try to do some type of slapstick thing where he trips over his own tail or something. But that just, I got to figure out a way to make this work. Let me think about it. See, this is one of the problems with the way I do the storytelling, or I plan the books. Mike and I, we sit down and we say, okay, this is what has to happen. We start here and we end here. And then there's boom, 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 boom. There's a few points in between that have to happen. And then it's all the in-between stuff that I kind of have to figure out on the fly as I'm doing it. See, because I know he gets to the temple, he meets his sister, he meets his nephew, the rat guy attacks, I knew all that stuff. I knew those beats, but I don't know all the beats in between, Like I know the next thing that's supposed to happen in this chapter is Lulu says to Hero, let's talk in private. And she takes him aside to talk to him. And, but I wanted one more thing to happen between then, and that's Hero coming face to face with Hope. I got to figure out a way to do that without having to go 5 more pages. Because I think the way I would probably do it is extend it. So I'm already up to page 20. I don't want this chapter to go more than.
Very poor planning, dude.
This is how I did the whole entire book.
Yeah, I know.
I'm 2.5 books in, and this is just how I work. Usually I sit down and do the layouts ahead of time so I have a better idea. But this particular, because I'm changing the way this chapter was going to end, I'm kind of having to move it around a little bit. But that's okay. That's okay, because I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Oh, you know what movie my wife said she wanted to go see? We were watching football yesterday, and that one White Boy Rick or whatever, about the 15-year-old kid that was part of the street gang or whatever, who was supposedly an informant for the FBI. It's Matthew McConaughey's new movie that's coming out.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
You have no idea? Okay, well. None. Okay. Well, that's a new movie called White Boy Rick or something like that. And she's like, that sounds interesting. I want to see that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, you're not into that kind of stuff. Oh, have you seen the preview for Assassination?
No.
It seems like a movie right up your alley.
No.
You want me to tell you what it's about?
No.
Based on just the previews that I've seen?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So it starts. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. This is where you're supposed to call my bluff and disconnect.
No, I did see the trailer, dude. I just
Oh, okay. It's not one I want to go see in theaters, but it is one I think I want to see just because it's got that Purge, feel to it. So
yeah,
we like the Purge movies.
they're okay.
Let me think about this.
Do you mind if I try something?
What do you want to try?
This page with the moon reflecting on the water.
Uh-huh.
You use this cross-hatching gray tone thing, mass.
Yes.
For water.
Yes. It was just to fill in the area. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it as all black, so that's Okay.
Do you mind if I get rid of it and do something?
It's a separate layer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel free. Feel free.
Okay, cool. I want to try something.
Okay.
Because it's the same type of texture, even though it's gray, as you're cross hatching on a rock.
Well, see, I created a
It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's the same type of cross hatching.
Right.
That's on a rock. That's not how you render stuff.
Right. Well, it was a instead of filling with blacks, I filled with the cross hatching.
Yeah.
I was trying to get away from solid blacks throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you should have done is created a wavy pattern that gets denser the further you go out from to a black or to a gray. It could all have been a gray shape that sort of like what's in the middle for the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And not use the cross hatching. It doesn't. But something brushier than what's in the middle there for that reflection.
Okay. Yeah, go give it a shot. Whatever you want to try is fine by me.
Okay, cool.
I just more or less I was just filling back then I was just filling space. So
yeah.
Didn't I do something similar with that with the backup story, the one with the ferret who's or the otter who's got the boat and going across, or the skiff and going across the water?
Let me go.
I know you had already started to play around with that one and coloring it, but you did it in darker blues. It was supposed to be more daybreak.
Oh yeah, then I started changing it.
Did you do something with the water? Because the water was in that, the same thing was in the first. The first panel or two.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you've got water lines drawn all through it. Through a lot of it. You've got, like, the water lines and the different gradations. And it's not in comparison. Well, it is kind of with the mountains, but it's not as bad because those mountains are just a shape. Yeah, I you know what? It's so color held over. It doesn't. Like, let me screen share.
Okay.
Since it's daybreak, it's not done. But this is just where I started to change the time of day from where it was still night the first time.
Right.
It's so color held over with the sun rising because you didn't. You're like, oh yeah, it's daybreak, the sun's coming up, and I'm like, there's nothing to indicate that.
Well, it's part of the story.
Show don't tell. It's a comic book.
Sometimes you still got to tell.
Yeah, but how would anyone? You still didn't.
Actually, from the angle that he's coming at, the sun would be rising on the other side of him, in front of him.
Well, when I was coloring this and asked you about it, you said, oh, yeah, that's fine.
Well, yeah, it'll still work. Well, technically,
How do you know what direction he's coming from?
Well, by the time they get to the water, the sun's already set. So which angle the sun set from, you don't know for sure. There could be a bend and whatever. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. It looks good. Keep going.
No, seriously. I can get rid of that and change the angle of the light.
No, I actually think that looks good. Hey, do you subscribe to Mindless Entertainment?
I think so, but I never watch her videos.
Yeah, I don't know what she's been doing lately, but they've been weird.
But I subscribe because I like her. It's just I don't have time to watch anybody's videos.
No, I understand.
You know, because I mainly follow artists, and so many that the live chats are so long. By the time I watch a live chat or two, I don't have time to watch anybody else's videos. I can get rid of that. I can change that.
No, I'm happy with it. Keep going.
See, the thing is, though, okay, you said the sun would be coming from the other direction. Then how come the clouds break into light this direction?
Because I didn't think about color when I did this page. I just threw
You
clouds
didn't
in the
think
sky.
about color. You don't have to think about color, but you did think about light. The light is still breaking over here because the clouds get denser this way.
You know you're a pain in the butt, right? I
No.
think what you've done is great. I think keep at it.
No, I'm bringing up real questions, things you should have thought of.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to think about them right now. I don't know why you think I'm that smart when it comes to this stuff.
Well, it's just the kind of thing you have to think about.
Yes, but I don't. Never have.
Well, you have to start.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, this needs some oranges put into it a little bit of reds, a little bit of like a reddish orange, just a little bit. But this is from when I stopped to go back to doing things in order. But I did the shift here to make sure once I got back here, I remembered like, oh yeah, this is dawnish. The sun's coming up.
Nope, that's cool. That's cool.
Then I did it in yellows, more yellow, to differentiate from those sunsets when I had it with all the orange, reds, and purple.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be yellows and orange. I'm going to put a little bit of oranges in here too. Because this is so flat. I don't know what to do with this mass. I
gotcha.
I could stop knocking it. I could knock that back even more, or knock it back even less. I don't know.
Oh, I trust you.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do with it because it looks like a slab.
No, I gotcha. Actually, I know how to do gradation in Photoshop. I just didn't even think about it. Do your magic. Do that magic that you do.
So I'm thinking about just creating a new texture for in here.
Okay.
I just wanted to check with you first before I did it.
No, go for it. Give it a shot.
because I don't want it to look like just a slab. I want it to actually kind of look, because you've got all these trees that, even though it's in your cartoony style, look like trees. Look like rocks. But sometimes on water, you just kind of go, boop. You just go, eh.
More or less.
Well, stop. Give the people your money's worth. Give them their money's worth, man.
Well. All right, let's see here. I think I'm getting close to what I want to do here.
I don't know why.
Why is that?
What am I doing here with them? Should I do one of those, those old school things where they used to just color people who were small on a page like this with their fort and whatever object they're in the foreground, and sort of this monochromatic thing?
Kind of like a silhouette type thing, but just make it all the same color. I try not to do silhouettes in my storytelling, but sometimes you got to.
No, they make sense. They're effective.
Yeah, well, whatever. As I said, I trust you. Hey, Avid, how's it going, man?
What up, Avid?
He says, finally, you guys stream at night. I've seen a lot of stuff early in the day. Too early for me. That's probably Avery's streams. I only stream at night. I try to stick to a schedule, man. Try to 7:30 Eastern time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Which, by the way, I'll tell everybody now, in October, in the month of October, I'm switching it to Tuesday and Thursday. To 2 nights a week, possibly Saturday. I haven't decided yet. But the reason for that is because the first weekend in October, I'm leaving on Wednesday to go to New York, and I won't be back till Monday. So if I switch it to Tuesday, Thursday for October, I'll only miss that Thursday. So instead of missing 3 nights, I'll only miss 1 night. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes perfect sense. All right. So in other words, starting in October, I'm going to go Tuesday, Thursday, probably for a few weeks. I may do more than that, more or less, but we'll see. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to say, crap, that's going to make it too confusing. I'll just miss Wednesday and Friday of the first week in October because I'll be in New York. So I'll live stream on Monday, and then I'll live stream again the following Monday. He says, nice. Crap. Tuesdays and Thursday, I'm literally in meetings at 7 p.m. Okay, I'm not going to do it. We want Avid to be able to come and join us. So I'll miss the Wednesday, which I believe is the 3rd and the 5th of October. I miss those 2 days. So the first week in October, I will live stream on Monday, and then I won't live stream again until the following Monday. Actually, I'm planning on live streaming while I'm in New York, but I'll be doing it from my phone, which means I probably won't be having anybody call in or anything like that. Okay, Avery? So don't plan on joining me. But Todd and I may do some live streaming while we're up there. Just screwing around, the 2 of us.
I'll be sure not to watch.
It'll be completely and utterly for informational purposes only. We won't be doing any work. I don't know. Well, we might be doing some work. I don't know. Every time I go up there, unless I have a table, am I actually getting stuff done. We spend so much time walking around. By the time we get back to his place, I'm exhausted. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about doing at the show, but I probably won't be able to live stream it. I'll probably record a video and then post it when I get back to his place because I have a really, really crappy plan on my phone. I mean, it's very basic. Actually, I pay for 4 phones for my wife and I and the 2 kids, and I have a very small data plan, just because I can't afford more than that. So I probably won't be live streaming from New York, but I'll probably make videos and then upload them when I get back to his place and connect to his internet and so forth. I'm definitely going to be doing stuff while I'm in New York. I actually have a couple of artist friends I'm hoping to be able to reach out to and maybe do interviews for my show. So that'll be kind of cool. Stop snickering, man. I hear you snickering. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to end this on page 98. Chapter 16 will end on page 98. Okay. Okay. Now, one of the other things I have to do, which is very important for this, is I have to do the backgrounds. What I'm thinking about doing is doing like one large panoramic view of the inside of the temple, from the entrance door to the side, all the way around to the throne room, and then maybe up the other side. Do one like really long panoramic view. And then, because a lot of the stuff that happens in these scenes happens right there in front, and I can just drop the backgrounds in, depending on where everybody's standing, or which direction they're facing in each scene. But I can reuse the backgrounds. It's not a big deal.
Well, it's also nice to change angles.
Well, a lot of the angles are straight. There's not a lot of up and down, so I don't draw that way. I just don't.
But you need to add some dynamic angles to like action scenes and stuff.
Well, I've got some action scenes, but okay. I think I figured it out. 98 is going to be the last page, and that would put me at 23 pages for chapter 16. That's not too bad. Okay. So, Avid, did you find any more spelling or grammar mistakes in either of the books? Because trust me, I need to know. All right. So I actually need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this one's already done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more panels. And then I got to do this one, which is a close-up of a hand. Dynamic manga action panels. That's right. That's what I'm going for with pages 91 and 92. There's a lot of dynamic, very fast action movement in this. And this particular part is just a very small portion. There's going to be some crazy all-out action happening later on in the book. This is like kind of like a little dab of some of the action, but we're actually going to have a Godzilla tearing up the city type moment in this book, and I can't wait to draw it. It's going to be fantastic. It's probably, I think when I get to that part of the book, every page will be a splash page. I may do like 15 splash pages in total. Hey, no problem, man.
Just make them super dynamic,
Yeah. Well, there's one panel in chapter 15. I was going back and I was just tweaking some of the faces in chapter 15, and there was one page that showed the alligator turtle, the big ass alligator turtle, and it was so horribly undynamic, and I hate it. And I'm gonna have to go back and redraw it because I had so many pages where I was drawing that creature, and every page I love the way it came out, except for this one panel. It just and I'm like, I can't leave it like that. I've got to change it. So I'm going to go back and redo that at some point. I mean, there's no rush or anything on that, but it's going to bug the crap out of me until I go back and do it. So Avid says, wow, 15 splash pages sounds dope as fudge. It could be.
Yeah, in book 3, yeah.
Because I've got part of the idea of the story is that war is going to be breaking out in the city very, very short. The city's being surrounded by an army, and there's a reason why they're out there. And Hero's sister makes the decision we need to abandon the city. So she commands her army and all the people that are with her. She says, I want you to evacuate everybody. There's a secret tunnel. There's a secret passage through there's this big, huge sculpture of the founder of the city that's like built into the wall surrounding the village. And there's a secret passageway underneath it that leads to the other side of the mountains where the people can get out. So she's coordinating this escape route, and Hero is being sent on a separate mission. He needs to find this particular item that'll help defeat the bad guy or the bad thing that's happening. And it's actually built. There's a series of caverns built inside the statue that goes all the way up to the top of the statue. So there's going to be a point in the story where he's on top of kind of like a Mount Rushmore type of look, where he's standing on top of the head of this statue, and this gigantic alligator turtle has risen from underneath the ground, underneath the city, because they built the city on top of this thing, which I don't know why they would have done that, but whatever, that's what they did. And it's starting to just tear up the city, and it like kind of looks up at him, and he's like looking down and it's like all this, there's going to be all these dynamic angles and crap, and just, I can't wait to draw it. And there's going to be a part where Hero's like, he jumps off and the thing is crashing into the statue, and then he controls the statue Ghostbuster 2 style. No, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if that could happen, but it's not going to happen. But that is cool. I like it. The statue is holding a sword, but it's not going to happen that way. But that's fantastic. I love that idea. But Pudge is going to come in and help save him, rescue him, and he's gonna single-handedly take on this gigantic alligator turtle, which in the story we call a dragon. And he's going to single-handedly take on the dragon. And there may not be a book 4 if it doesn't go well. But I imagine, when the dragon rises from the ground and the city starts tumbling and buildings are falling over and there's rumbling and it's affecting everything, and the army that's surrounding is like running away, and all this crap that's happening. I just imagine every single part of the story to be splash pages. It's what's happening. It will be too big to contain in 3-panel pages. So hate to ruin it for anybody out there watching, but I can't wait to draw such excitement stuff. But that's coming. So now that I've let you all in on the secret of what's going to happen in book 3, but there's a reason why the army's there. There's a reason why the dragon gets woken up. There's all these pieces in place, and what's happening in this book will actually lead into what happens in book 4. Because we actually thought this out ahead of time. For those people out there who don't think we think that far ahead.
You say that you don't think that far ahead all the time.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, I don't think of all the little details. I know where this story ends. I know how it leads into the next book. I know where the next book begins. I have no clue where the next book's going to end. We haven't thought that far ahead, but we know how we get to the beginning of the 4th book. Because the 4th book is a pirate adventure. It's an adventure on the high seas. And we know the reasons why. We know we know who's going on the adventure. We know all that stuff, and exactly how it's going to end, we don't know. There may be another brother or sister that they hook up with near the end of book 4. That lives with the frost giants, which in our world are polar bears. So that may be book 5, but we haven't thought that far ahead. We know that story's coming. We just don't know where in the storyline it happens.
Giants that are based on polar bears.
No, they're polar bears, but they call them frost giants.
No, they're based on this is a whole nother world, man. It's
I
not
know.
actually a polar bear. Because polar
Yes,
bears
but
don't live on Earth.
nobody said this was Earth.
Exactly. So it can't be a polar bear.
Yeah, it can.
No.
Just like, like Hero.
Polar bears only exist on Earth, man.
Who says? Have you ever been off Earth? How do you know that's true?
Many times.
Many times. I guess I really can't argue with that fact.
It was called the 80s, man.
Yeah, well, okay. All right. Oh, man, I'm giving myself a headache. All right. Let me see. Do I want to try to do another panel tonight? Yes, I think maybe I can. This one is done. This one is done. This one is the next one I need to work on. This one is done. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I think, this week, my goal, this is my goal. I'm laying it out right now, okay, for everybody watching. I have 4 pages to wrap up the layouts for chapter 16. My goal is to have all these panels laid out by the end of this week. So that's starting on Monday, I go full force back into chapter 16. Doing the final, because the first few pages are already done. There's maybe 2 pages that there's a double page splash, which I started and never finished. Then there's 1 page where it's got part of the first panel done, but it's not fully finished. And then the rest of it is all laid out. So, nope, that'll be the goal, to finish laying out chapter 16 by the end of this week, and then starting on Monday, going into it full force. That is the plan, fellas. Actually, there is a story, because remember how in the end of the second book, he finds out that he has to find all his brothers and sisters in order to get these gifts from the gods, and each one has some type of power or something, and he will be getting a gift from Artemis, who is a falcon, from one of his twin sisters, and the gift, of course, is a feather. And I don't think it's going to give him the ability to fly, but it's going to have something to do with flight or something along that end. So we'll see. We haven't actually figured out who all is getting it. We know roughly who all has what, but we're still, making it up. Like from Brock, he got the ring from. Let's see. He's on Avery. He says he's on page 125 of book 1. So he's actually right up to where you're coloring.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oof. But he gets the ring of what is her name? What's Zeus's wife's name?
Hera?
Hera. Yes, he gets the ring from Hera, which the ring, it's kind of its power is to help him go in the right direction. It's supposed to also warn him of danger. So it's something that, if he doesn't know which way to go, the ring will kind of push him in the right direction, which is kind of helpful. Like
the little owl in Clash of the Titans.
What? Okay, sure. Okay.
Oh wait, you haven't seen it?
What, Clash of the Titans? Of course I've seen Clash of the Titans. I was
Like,
thinking of the remake. There wasn't an they did they had
oh my god! You always pick the horrible remakes. Love them.
the remake wasn't horrible, man.
But seriously, dude, when I reference something, I'm never talking about the remake.
Yeah, okay.
Infuriating, and people want like, man, Avery comes on the stream and sometimes he's kind of a downer and butthole. It's like you deal with this guy and see how depressed you are.
Well, actually, believe it or not, the idea for all the artifacts, even though it's based in Greek mythology, that part of the story was inspired by Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's how you make it your own. Is you steal enough from enough different things
Okay.
that it becomes something totally different after it goes through the blender of your mind.
I just want you to know, Avid's trying to knock on me. He said, yes, Clash of the Titans is so dope. I was getting a Clash of the Titans vibe when you were explaining the artifacts, and that is not a bad thing. And then he says, I hear Andrew loves Ghostbusters 2016.
I know. Dude, he owns that movie still bookcase.
I do own that movie and still bookcase. I didn't hate it.
Now, Avid, do you understand my frustration sometimes?
I did not hate that movie. I didn't hate it. It wasn't as funny as it could have been.
I thought it was a turd bucket.
You didn't watch it? Bullcrap. There's no way you watched
did too.
No, you did not.
I did too. Check your voodoo. You can see who's watched what. I guarantee you can find where I watched it.
Okay, if you say so.
I watched it and I said, oh dear God, I'm never watching anything Andrew ever recommends ever again.
I never, ever recommended that movie to you.
Yes, you recommend everything you buy and put on there.
I don't think so.
You're pretty low. You go, oh, I added this. I thought it was pretty good. You should.
I didn't recommend it to you. I would never do that to you. That's mean.
That was mean. That was horrible. That hurt my. You know what? It didn't hurt as. You know what? I'm over exaggerating.
He said
not hurt as much as Last Jedi.
Avid says you should disown me as a friend.
It's tempting.
He's tried to do it so many times, but
Avid, here's the deal. I can't. He's already paid me in full for this book. I have to finish it. He kind of owns me right now. I have to finish this, bro. Like, okay, after I finish this, I can disown it. But until then, I'm stuck, dude. Like
that's why the Indiegogo campaign for Hero Book 1 in full color needs to do well, so I make enough money that he can't say, no, man, I can't. I got to turn down money to color book 2. I can't do it. If I make enough money, there's no way he can say that, and then I've got him on the hook for, a whole nother year and a half or so. He's my buddy, my best buddy.
I hate my life. I hate my life. No.
Ghostbusters 2016 was not good, but it wasn't horrible.
No, it wasn't like wrecking your childhood bad. Like, it wasn't as traumatic as The Last Jedi, because and part of what makes The Last Jedi so traumatic is I can't go watch the original movies and get my fix of why I love Star Wars, because unless I go buy some moldy old VHS tapes and find a working VCR, I can't watch those original movies.
I have a working VCR if you really need one.
And a copy of the original movies?
No.
Because back then they were on TV in such regular rotation. I never bought them on VHS. Because I watched them once a year, every year. At least once a year. Then they did the special editions and they said, guess what? We're not going to sell you the original cuts anymore. Like, I don't know why the DVD and Blu-ray release of special editions didn't include the original cuts. I'm like, why don't you put that in there? For us, like, you could get some more Star Wars money out of me. But now the way you're doing things, I'm out. Oh wait, I might buy the original KOTOR because I don't have my copy anymore. Someone took it.
Of what?
KOTOR, the first Knights of the Old Republic for the original Xbox. I have my copy of Knights of the Old Republic 2, and both those games are now backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
Uh-huh.
And just like I'm playing Morrowind now, I'm going to go back and play those because those were fantastic role-playing games. Like you could make a brand new game use almost the exact same mechanics. You don't even have to make it that much prettier, and I would play it.
Avid says the laser discs are 100% original.
See,
the VHS had special edition stuff cut into them.
Avid, do you have a Laserdisc player? By chance?
It says KOTOR is available on the App Store for your phone now.
Yeah, but it's also available on Xbox One, and that's how I would play it. Those were two games. Those were the only two Star Wars games I ever really loved, and the only RPGs I ever played all the way through.
I got KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what I think they should do for new Star Wars movies. Either what they should have done instead of any of these new movies, if they wanted to do their own thing, is go way in the future, have the original cast do fan service cameos as new characters, like Stan Lee popping in a Marvel movie, and do their own thing way in the future. And then also do Knights of the Old Republic style stories. Go way in the past. There's huge gaps of information where we don't know the whole story. That way you wouldn't have to decanonize anything.
Wasn't that what they were talking about with the TV show, that they were going to go back into the past?
I don't know.
Okay, well.
I don't know. They talk a lot of that stuff and never do anything over the years. So unless something's actually in production, I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Because they talk a lot of that, and they have for 40 years.
Well,
because those Knights of the Old Republic style stories and those old stories, are interesting. Take some of the old books and make those into movies. Queldroma, if I'm saying it right, Exarchun, it's good stuff.
Splinter in a Mind's Eye.
That's not really old stuff, I don't believe.
Well,
I'm talking the Old Republic.
Oh, okay. Well, that was Luke and Leia stuff. So
I'm talking the Old Republic, people that you can cast new faces to.
Did you hear that's what they're doing with the Game of Thrones? They're doing a spin-off series from Game of Thrones where they're going to go back and tell stories that take place prior to what's in the show
fine.
now. Yeah, I think that's cool.
That's fine.
They've got lots of back data. I mean, back matter that they can do stuff with. So
with Star Wars, if they had gone way in the future to a whole nother new Sith uprising, they could have mentioned all the past stuff briefly and left it all canon, and you would have known, and just had the actors from the original who wanted to do cameos, kind of like how Stan Lee does cameos in all the Marvel movies, just be like, oh, look, it's Mark Hamill. They say something to him in a cantina, or he plays some other ancient old Jedi.
Wouldn't it be cool if they came out with a movie and it wasn't till you were like halfway through it did you realize that it was actually a Star Wars movie?
You could really do that with Old Republic if you went back before they had lightsabers, and the Jedi's used vibro blades.
Hmm.
And when we watch A New Hope, lightsabers are all themselves ancient technology. And you can go back even further when they first started the Jedi Order, and they didn't quite have lightsabers yet.
Yeah.
That would really keep people from noticing in the trailers. as long as you didn't call it Star Wars or Knights of the Old Republic or something like that. The title would give it away because Star Wars fans know the names of the hardcore fans know the names of certain orders and groups. I mean, go back and go back to these old stories that have been only
mentioned.
Yeah. Tell them and show people, show fans the movie adaptation of what a Sith actually looks like, what an actual Sith is.
Is that like an actual Nazi?
The Sith were a race strong with the dark side.
Oh, okay.
And they always chose a dark Jedi to rule them, basically. Well, there's no more, like, Darth Vader isn't actually he's only a Sith in ideology. Palpatine is only a Sith in ideology. The people that were born Sith, that are from, I forgot what that planet is called, who are a member of that race, are long extinct.
Scythian? Oh, I'm just making up names.
I don't remember. I've heard it. And I've heard the name of the planet before. That race is long extinct by thousands of years by the time A New Hope starts.
Okay. Yeah, I never got into any of the backstories or any of the other books or anything. I read a few. Actually, no, I didn't read a few. I did. I rented them from the library and did audiobooks for a bunch of them. Like, the one with Chewbacca where he dies. That was a big thing back then. Yeah, I read that. I didn't read that book, but I listened to it on audiobook.
Yeah, because before there was a Sith, they were a dark Jedi. Like, not all dark Jedi are Sith.
Okay.
Some dark Jedi are they're just an evil Jedi. They're not subscribed to the Sith teachings.
Korriban is what he says.
Yes, they're from Korriban. Yep.
You guys are nerds.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's already after 8:30. I'm going to start wrapping this up.
All right.
Oh, I'm tired. I had a long day at work.
Yep.
We were so busy working. I looked up and it was 3:00 and I said, crap, I need to go get some food. I was starving. But, I was having fun. Making spreadsheets and moving data around. And actually, they've got me working on 3 different projects at the same time right now.
Well, that's because you're probably you're probably the person that knows how to do this. You burn through they all do things the hard way in those programs. You know the program and you burn through it faster.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, some of them are I don't want to speak out of turn, but
yeah, so don't.
I can lap them when it comes to stuff. Hey, no problem, Avid. Thanks a lot for joining. I truly appreciate it. He said, thanks for streaming, guys. It's always wonderful. I don't know if I'd say it's wonderful. I mean, I've got Avery here, which means, it's more of, if you consider a pain in the ass wonderful, then sure, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Boil on your butt. Yeah. A boil on your Robbie Rodriguez. If you think that's wonderful, then yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Robbie Rodriguez.
All right, Avid. Appreciate you joining. Anybody else out there watching? Thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody being there. And
we really appreciate it.
We talk to you again on Wednesday when we do some more drawing. Later, guys.